All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to talk about a very specific kind of person, someone you almost definitely know. They're the people who, when they get hurt, they don't get loud. They don't explode, they just disappear. They go quiet. And we're going to unpack the deep psychology of why they do that.
I mean, really think about it. Have you met this person? They don't slam a door, they don't start a fight. In fact, you might not even notice it's happening at first. It's more of a slow fade. Until one day you realize, hey, we haven't really connected in a while. And by then, they've already retreated into a place you just can't see.
You know, when most of us get hurt, we tend to think there are two main ways to react. You either explode, you confront the person, you get angry, or you crumble. You break down, you cry. But there's this third path. It's so much quieter and, honestly, a lot more complicated. It's the choice to just go quiet.
So, this quiet response, it is not a lack of feeling, not at all. In fact, it's the total opposite. It's a very specific, deeply learned pattern of behavior that was forged a long, long time ago. And this is so important to understand. From the outside, this silence can look a lot like coldness, right? Like indifference, or that they just don't care enough to even fight about it. But that's a complete misinterpretation. What's really happening is a deep, instinctual act of self-protection.
So, where does a response like this even come from? Well, to really get it, we have to go back. We have to look at the environment where this instinct was born, usually in childhood, back to a time when being quiet was literally the safest option they had.
There's this incredible research from the psychologist John Gottman that gives us a huge clue. He talks about emotion dismissing parenting. Now, this is when a kid grows up in a home where showing your hurt gets you punished, or maybe even worse, just ignored. Their little nervous system learns a massive lesson. Vulnerability is dangerous. Showing pain leads to more pain.
And this just sums it all up perfectly. For these people, silence stopped being just an absence of noise. It became a language. It became the only language they knew for how to stay safe in a world that felt unsafe. And this right here is the absolute core of it all. They don't pull away because they don't care. They pull away because they care so much that the risk of speaking up and being ignored or invalidated all over again feels completely unbearable. The emotional stakes are just way too high. Okay, so we've talked about the why, but what is actually going on inside their head when they go quiet? Because let me tell you, this silence, it's not passive at all. It's an active, exhausting process. I mean, just look at everything that's happening behind the scenes. They're working so hard to contain their grief, to manage their own expectations so they don't get let down again, and all the while, they are fighting to hold on to their dignity. And underneath all of that, there's this constant safety check running. Is this person safe? Is it worth it to open up? Will they get it this time? And that's the real paradox, isn't it? The very thing they're doing to protect themselves, to hold it together with dignity, is exactly what makes them look detached and distant to everyone else. They seem fine because they've had a lifetime of practice at seeming fine. But here's the thing. This coping skill, as much as it might have helped them survive in the past, it comes with a really heavy price tag. It takes a huge toll, not just on their relationships, but on their own body. Yeah, research by a psychologist named James Gross shows us exactly how. When you bottle up your emotions, you might look calm on the outside, but inside, your body is going into overdrive. Your nervous system gets all fired up, your heart rate increases. The hurt doesn't just vanish, it gets trapped inside your body. Okay, let's make this real. Let's take the story of Julia. Her partner makes some small, thoughtless comment. On the outside, she just laughs it off. But on the inside, she's quietly folding that hurt up and putting it away. He senses something is off and asks if she's okay. She just says, "Yep, I'm fine," and closes the door on the conversation. And then a few weeks go by and there's this gap between them, an unspoken distance that grew out of a tiny, forgotten moment. And that's the ultimate tragedy of it, really. It's the ultimate cost, because you can't be truly close, truly intimate with someone who, deep down in their bones, doesn't believe it's safe to be truly open with you. Okay, but here's the good news. This is not a life sentence. It's a pattern, and patterns can absolutely change. So let's talk about the path forward for the person who goes quiet and for the people who love them. So what can we actually do to start bridging that gap that silence creates? You know, the answer isn't some big dramatic gesture. It's actually something much, much quieter.
All right, first things first. If you're listening to all this and thinking, wow, that's me, I'm the one who goes quiet, I really need you to hear this. Your silence makes perfect sense. It was a strategy you built for a very good reason. So, the first step is just to acknowledge that, to recognize that this strategy kept you safe when you needed it. And then, you gotta ask yourself the tough question. Is it costing you more now than it's saving you? Is this survival strategy built for the life you had, or is it holding you back from the life you're trying to build now? Okay, now let's flip the script. What if you're on the other side? What if you're the one who loves someone who disappears into themselves like this? Well, your role here is absolutely critical. Your whole job is to create a feeling of safety. So don't rush to fill the silence with a bunch of questions. Don't immediately assume their quiet means they're mad at you or rejecting you. And whatever you do, don't push for a reaction. Your only goal is to be a safe place for them to come back to. That's it. Just offer your calm, steady, patient presence. And this quote just captures the whole thing perfectly. Your entire task is to just be the kind of person that makes taking that huge, scary risk of coming back feel worth it. That feeling of safety, offered over and over again, is what can slowly teach a nervous system that's been wired for danger that it's okay to stand down. So, that really leaves all of us with a final question to chew on. Whether this is your pattern or you love someone who has it, are you building a life, and are you being the kind of person that makes the terrifying risk of being vulnerable actually feel worth it?